There comes a point in life when you must stop explaining yourself, stop proving your worth, and stop fighting to be understood.
You've poured your energy into trying to fix people, heal relationships, and gain approval from those who were never meant to see your light. But hear me, there's a season when silence becomes your strength and focus becomes your weapon, ****. Silence is strength, not weakness, ****. There are moments in life when silence speaks louder than any
words could. Many people mistake silence for surrender, but in truth, silence is a form of strength that only the wise understand. When you choose not to react, not to explain, not to fight every battle that calls your name, you are declaring that your peace is more valuable than your pride. The world teaches us to always respond, to always defend ourselves, to always have the last word. But true power is not in noise, it is in composure. It is in the quiet confidence that knows who you are and does not need to prove it. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom in motion. When you stay silent, you give space for clarity to enter. You begin to see things as they are, not as your emotions perceive them. You realize that not every opinion deserves your energy, and not every argument deserves your voice. Silence allows your thoughts to settle, your heart to heal, and your spirit to rise. When you learn to stay quiet in moments of chaos, you are showing that you trust the process more than the problem. You are telling life, I am calm because I know who holds my destiny. In silence, you find a sacred strength that noise cannot give you. You begin to notice how peace becomes your natural state, how your reactions soften, and how your energy shifts. People may not understand it, they may call you cold or distant, but they don't know the battles you are choosing not to fight. They don't know the prayers you whisper in silence or the tears you cry where no one can see. You are not weak for walking away. You are wise for protecting your peace. Strength is not about shouting your truth. It's about standing firm in it even when no one believes you. When you choose silence, you give God room to move. You stop trying to fix everything yourself and allow divine timing to unfold. The same silence that people misread as weakness becomes the soil where miracles grow. Every time you refuse to argue, you grow stronger. Every time you choose to be silent instead of bitter, you create room for healing. Every time you walk away from drama, you rise a little higher. Silence does not mean you are losing. It means you are learning. It means you are mastering yourself, and that is the highest form of victory. The world will try to pull you into endless noise. It will tempt you to respond, to prove, to fight. But remember, the loudest person is not always the strongest. The calmest one usually wins, because silence is not empty, it is full of answers. It is in silence that your spirit hears what words cannot express. It is in silence that your purpose whispers, your heart recovers, and your power rebuilds. So when life challenges you, do not waste your energy on noise. Stay silent, stay grounded, and stay strong. Your silence is your shield, your strength, and your secret weapon. Focus is the gateway to transformation. When you learn to focus on yourself, something powerful begins to shift inside you. Life starts to make sense in ways it never did before, because you finally stop scattering your energy everywhere and start channeling it toward growth. Focusing on yourself is not about selfishness. It is about alignment. It is about recognizing that your time, your peace, and your purpose are sacred. When you stop trying to fix everyone else and start working on the person in the mirror, you enter the most transformative season of your life. You start to realize that change doesn't come from chasing people or forcing outcomes. It comes from focusing on your own healing, your own peace, and your own journey. Focus is the bridge between where you are and where you are meant to be. Without it, life feels scattered and confusing. When your attention is divided, your energy is weak. But when you decide to focus, your spirit becomes sharp like a laser, cutting through distractions and guiding you toward purpose. You stop wasting energy on things that drain you and start feeding the things that grow you. You stop being pulled by noise and start being led by clarity. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means you finally understand that you cannot pour from an empty cup. Transformation happens quietly when you begin to focus inward. The habits you build, the thoughts you nurture, and the peace you protect all shape your new reality. You begin to see that your life is a reflection of what you focus on most. If you focus on problems, you'll see more of them. But if you focus on progress, you'll start seeing opportunities appear where there once were obstacles. Your focus creates your frequency, and your frequency determines what you attract. That's why shifting your focus from chaos to calm, from pain to purpose, changes everything. There will be moments when distractions try to pull you away. People may misunderstand your silence and call you distant or proud. But stay focused. The same people who question your discipline today will admire your transformation tomorrow. Every minute you spend working on yourself, every moment you invest in your peace, every second you use to heal rather than argue, becomes part of your transformation. You start walking differently, talking differently, and thinking differently because your focus shapes your identity. When you focus on yourself, you awaken the power that's been sleeping inside you. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become the author of your destiny. You realize that the answers you've been searching for were never out there. They were always within you. All it took was focus to find them. And once you do, you stop living reactively and start living intentionally. Your goals become clearer, your relationships healthier, and your peace unshakable. Focus is not just about doing more. It's about becoming more aware, more grounded, more connected to your higher purpose. So guard your focus as if your life depends on it, because it does. Focus is your power, your compass, and your key to transformation. When you focus on yourself, you align with growth. And when you align with growth, everything around you begins to rise too. Stay centered, stay consistent, and watch your life unfold in ways you never imagined. Peace is more valuable than popularity. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must decide what truly matters, being understood by everyone or being at peace within themselves. Peace is a treasure that cannot be bought, borrowed, or faked. It is a gift that blooms in silence, discipline, and self-respect. When you begin to value your peace over the approval of others, your entire world changes. You stop chasing attention, you stop seeking validation, and you stop trying to explain your soul to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You begin to realize that popularity fades, but peace endures. Many people spend their lives performing for the crowd, trying to fit in, impress, or please. They wear masks to be accepted, but deep down they are exhausted. When you choose peace, you step out of that exhausting cycle. You no longer live to be seen, you live to be whole. You stop explaining your choices and start honoring your boundaries. You understand that peace is not the absence of noise, but the presence of calm, even in chaos. It is waking up each morning knowing that your heart is light, your spirit is clear, and your conscience is clean. Peace requires courage because it often means walking away from things that once felt comfortable. It means saying no when everyone expects you to say yes. It means turning down invitations to drama, gossip, and meaningless battles. It means protecting your space even when others don't understand why you've gone quiet. Choosing peace means you no longer engage in fights that don't serve your purpose. You realize that silence is not distance, It is defense. It is how you protect your mind, your energy, and your growth. When you choose peace, you gain power. The kind of power that can't be seen, but can be felt. Your energy becomes magnetic because calmness has its own beauty. You start attracting people and opportunities that match your new vibration. You notice that you no longer crave validation from others because your peace validates you. You understand that no amount of applause is worth losing your inner stillness. The opinions of others lose their grip on you because your heart has found something far more valuable: tranquility. There will always be people who misunderstand your peace for pride. They will say you've changed, and they will be right. You have. You have changed from needing approval to needing alignment. You have changed from seeking attention to seeking serenity. That's what growth looks like. You begin to see that your peace is a form of protection. It shields you from unnecessary pain and keeps your spirit steady even when the world feels heavy. Peace teaches you that quiet happiness is better than loud chaos. True peace is not found in the crowd, it's found in solitude. It's found in prayer, in reflection, in forgiveness. It's found in letting go of what you can't control and trusting that everything will work out for your good. When you choose peace, you start living from your center instead of your emotions. You begin to glow differently, walk differently, and think differently. So stop chasing popularity, stop seeking permission, and start choosing peace. Because once you make peace your priority, your life becomes lighter, your mind becomes clearer, and your heart becomes unshakable. Peace is not just a choice, it is freedom. Asterisk asterisk, let your actions speak louder than words. Asterisk asterisk, there comes a time when silence and consistency say more about you than any words ever could. You don't have to announce every move, explain every decision, or defend every choice. When you let your actions speak, you allow truth to reveal itself through results. Words can be doubted, but actions cannot be denied. The most powerful people are not the loudest. They are the ones whose lives quietly reflect discipline, integrity, and growth. When you stop talking about what you're going to do and start doing it, your energy shifts, your confidence grows, and your life begins to transform. Too often, people waste precious time trying to convince others of who they are or what they can do. But life doesn't reward explanations. It rewards execution. Every word means little without action to back it up. You don't need to defend yourself to people who misunderstand your purpose. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone who doubts you. Just keep moving, keep building, and keep showing up. Over time, your consistency will silence every critic. Your success will tell the story words never could. Actions carry a frequency that words cannot match. When you act, you send a message to the universe that you are serious about your growth. You begin to attract momentum, opportunity, and favor because you're no longer waiting for validation. You are doing the work quietly, faithfully, and with focus. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a statement of faith that you believe in your purpose. You don't need to shout your dreams to the world. You just need to walk in them daily until they become reality. There is something sacred about quiet progress. It protects your energy and preserves your focus. When you work in silence, you avoid the noise of comparison and competition. You no longer seek approval because your peace is found in your progress. Let people wonder what you're up to. Let them assume nothing is happening. Then one day, your growth will speak for itself. The fruit of your labor will reveal the truth that your words never could. Because while others are talking, you are transforming. While others are doubting, you are developing. While others are waiting to be noticed, you are already becoming. Letting your actions speak doesn't mean you suppress your voice. It means you channel your energy into creation rather than explanation. You stop announcing your plans and start producing results. You stop arguing about who's right and start focusing on what's right. Your patience becomes your power. Your persistence becomes your proof. Those who once overlooked you will eventually be forced to acknowledge your growth. But by then, you won't even need their validation. You'll have already outgrown the need for it. The truth is, action builds confidence, and confidence builds peace. Every time you act on your goals instead of talking about them, you build momentum. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you move closer to your destiny. The quiet worker always wins because focus breeds results. So stay consistent, stay humble, and keep doing the work in silence. Let your transformation be your testimony. Let your success make the noise, because at the end of the day, people may forget what you said, but they will never forget what you did. Asterisk asterisk, silence creates space for clarity asterisk asterisk, in a world that never stops talking. Silence has become one of the rarest and most powerful forms of strength. We live in a time where everyone has something to say, where noise fills every corner of our lives, and where silence is often misunderstood as weakness or indifference. But true clarity is born in the quiet. When you learn to step away from the noise, when you stop reacting to every voice around you, you begin to hear the one voice that truly matters, the voice within. It's in that sacred stillness that you find direction, wisdom, and understanding. Silence clears the fog of confusion and allows truth to rise to the surface. Silence is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of awareness. It gives you room to think, to breathe, and to realign with your purpose. Most people fear silence because it forces them to face themselves. It reveals the thoughts they've buried and the emotions they've ignored. But that's where healing begins. In silence, you come face to face with your truth, your fears, and your dreams. You begin to realize that you already have the answers you've been searching for. They were just buried under the noise of distractions, opinions, and self-doubt. When you choose silence, you regain control over your energy. Not every argument deserves your response, and not every situation requires your explanation. Silence protects your peace from the chaos of the world. It teaches you to observe instead of react, to understand instead of judge, and to respond from wisdom instead of emotion. There's power in choosing to pause before you speak, to think before you move, and to wait before you decide. That pause, that silent space is where strength is built. It's where clarity is formed. Life becomes lighter when you stop explaining yourself to everyone. The more you talk, the more misunderstood you can become. But silence keeps your intentions pure and your energy intact. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your growth, your healing, or your choices. Those who truly understand you won't need your words to see your heart. And those who don't understand you will twist your words anyway. So choose peace over proving, and stillness over speaking. Let silence do the work that noise cannot. In moments of uncertainty, silence is your greatest teacher. When you quiet your mind, you begin to sense divine guidance. You start noticing signs, feelings, and moments that lead you in the right direction. You begin to trust timing, trust intuition, and trust that everything unfolds as it should. Clarity doesn't come from overthinking. It comes from stillness. That's why sometimes the best thing you can do is to stop talking, stop planning, and simply be still. In that stillness, your spirit settles, your mind clears, and your next step becomes visible. The most peaceful people are not the ones who know everything. They are the ones who know when to be silent. They have mastered the art of stillness in a noisy world. They understand that silence is a sanctuary, not a void. It is a place of rest, reflection, and renewal. When you protect your silence, you protect your clarity. When you live with clarity, you make better decisions, attract better energy, and walk a straighter path toward your purpose. So, slow down, quiet your thoughts, and embrace silence, because in that silence, life finally begins to make sense. Asterisk asterisk, your transformation will be loud without words. Asterisk asterisk, transformation is not something you announce. It's something you live. The most powerful changes happen quietly, deep within, where no one can see the work being done. You don't have to tell anyone that you've changed. Your peace will show it. Your energy will show it, and your presence will show it. Real transformation doesn't need to be explained. It reveals itself through growth, maturity, and grace. When you focus on healing, on growing, and on evolving, your life begins to shift in ways that no one can deny. You become living proof that silence, focus, and faith are stronger than any speech. There comes a time when you realize that proving yourself is no longer necessary. The people who truly see you don't need convincing, and the ones who doubt you aren't worth your energy. You start moving differently because your priorities have changed. You no longer seek to impress anyone. You seek to align with your purpose. That's what transformation is all about. Moving from seeking approval to seeking peace, from trying to be seen to learning to see yourself. It's a process of shedding the old you, so that the true you can finally breathe. The beauty of transformation is that it happens gradually, quietly, and naturally. One day you'll look back and realize that the things that used to upset you no longer have power over you. The people who once drained you no longer have access to you. The situations that once broke you now build you. That is growth. That is transformation. You didn't have to shout about it or post about it. You just kept showing up, kept healing, and kept believing. And slowly, your peace became louder than your pain. When you go through real transformation, you stop explaining your journey. You understand that not everyone is meant to understand your evolution. Some people only knew the version of you that existed in their comfort zone. And when you outgrow that version, they no longer recognize you. But that's okay. Transformation isn't meant to be comfortable. It's meant to be necessary. The people who are meant to stay in your life will adjust to your growth. Those who can't will fall away, and that's part of your elevation. Every time you rise, something that doesn't serve you will fall off. It's not rejection, it's refinement. You become quiet not because you have nothing to say, but because your peace speaks for you now. You become still not because you've stopped caring, but because you've learned that not everything deserves your reaction. Your silence becomes a symbol of strength. Your focus becomes a shield. Your growth becomes a message that others can feel without you ever having to explain. You're no longer chasing recognition because you've realized that peace is the greatest applause. Transformation doesn't need attention. It creates it naturally. The glow of a healed soul cannot be hidden. The calm of a peaceful heart cannot be ignored. People will notice the change, even if you never say a word. They'll see it in how you carry yourself, how you handle pressure, how you smile with ease, and how you no longer seek validation. You've shifted from surviving to thriving, from reacting to responding, from talking to trusting, and that shift is louder than any announcement you could ever make. So keep growing in silence. Keep healing privately. Keep evolving gracefully. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your peace. The transformation that happens within you will eventually shine around you. Your stillness will speak. Your focus will reveal. And your results will proclaim what words never could. Stay silent, stay focused, and let your transformation do the talking.